Good morning to all my dear students. Let's continue with the lecture 4 of a chapter measurement of national income by 3 methods: production method, income method and expenditure method. So we have covered till now the first method, production method of measuring the national income, and we studied the problem of double counting. We studied the precautions to be taken while measuring the national income by production method. At the same time, we also discussed about what are the various concepts used in the income method. We discussed in detail about compensation of employees, its parts, wages and salaries in cash, wages and salaries in kind, social security contribution by the employers on the behalf of employees. Then we discussed about the operating surplus, which is also called income from property and entrepreneurship, which includes profit, interest, rent and royalty. This all we have discussed in detail. And then we have discussed the mixed income of the self-employed. Today we are going to start with what are the various steps which we take in order to measure the national income by income method. So let's start with the steps to measure NY, means national income, or we call it NNPFC, by the income method. Step number 1 is same. Classify all the production units into primary, secondary and tertiary sector. हमने पहले भी पढ़ लिया है, there is no need to repeat it again. Second one, estimate the factor incomes paid by each sector. These are classified as, पढ़ चुके हैं, compensation of employees, rent, royalty, interest, profit, और profit के भी 3 parts: corporate tax, corporate savings and dividend, which is a distributed profit. Then third step is calculate the domestic income. कैसे निकलेगी domestic income? When the factor incomes of all the sectors are summed up, उन सबको हम sum up कर देंगे, COE plus operating surplus plus mixed income. COE means wages and salaries in cash and kind and social security contribution by the employer on the behalf of employees. Profit, अगर प्रॉफिट नहीं दिया तो उसके 3 कंपोनेंट दिए होंगे: कॉर्पोरेट टैक्स, कॉर्पोरेट सेविंग, डिविडेंड. फिर उसके बाद इंटरेस्ट, रेंट, रॉयल्टी, सबको जोड़ देंगे तो बन जाएगा NDPFC. एंड आई टोल्ड यू ऑलरेडी, NDP and FC क्यों क्या बोलते हैं? डोमेस्टिक इनकम. लुक हियर, दिस इज NDPFC. देन स्टेप नंबर 4, एस्टिमेट द नेट फैक्टर इनकम फ्रॉम अब्रॉड. अब तो पता चल चुका है कि डोमेस्टिक टू नेशनल पर हमने पहुंचना है, तो क्या करेंगे? वी विल ऐड नेट फैक्टर इनकम फ्रॉम अब्रॉड. किस किस से बना है? फैक्टर इनकम रिसीव्ड बाय द रेजिडेंट्स फ्रॉम अब्रॉड माइनस फैक्टर इनकम पेड टू द नॉन रेजिडेंट्स. तो ब्रैकेट ओपन करेंगे, क्या हो जाएगा? NDPFC प्लस फैक्टर इनकम रिसीव्ड बाय द रेजिडेंट्स फ्रॉम अब्रॉड माइनस factor income paid to the non-residents is equal to net national product at factor cost, also called national income. So with this we covered second method of measuring the national income, which is called income distribution method, income method. So we have completed it. Now we are going to start what are the precautions, किन किन सावधानियों को रखा जाएगा जब हम इनकम मेथड से नेशनल इनकम को फाइंड कर रहे हैं. पहला, पढ़ चुके हैं पहले भी, जितनी भी ट्रांसफर इनकम्स है, स्कॉलरशिप, गिफ्ट, डोनेशन, चैरिटी, जितनी भी क्या होती है ट्रांसफर इनकम, पढ़कर आए हो, करंट ट्रांसफर, कैपिटल ट्रांसफर, जिसमें कोई लेन देन नहीं होता, नो क्विड प्रो क्यू, वन साइडेड. किसी भी ट्रांसफर इनकम को नेशनल इनकम में इंक्लूड नहीं किया जाएगा. क्यों? देखो रीजन दे रहा है, बिकॉज देयर इज नो वैल्यू एडिशन. तो ये हो गया फर्स्ट. सेकेंड प्रिकॉशन इज इनकम फ्रॉम द सेल ऑफ सेकेंड हैंड गुड्स will not be included in the national income. Why? Because earlier when that good was sold, the value was added. Now it is being resold. If we will again add the value, it will lead to a problem of double counting. Or as it is, we know that whenever the second hand good is sold, no fresh output is being generated, is being produced. So there is no generation of income. So it means the value income from the sale of the second hand goods will not be included. Why? As their original sale has already been counted. Next, very important, income from the sale of shares, bonds, debentures will not be included, because it is merely the transfer of ownership and no fresh output is being produced. Look here, income from the sale of shares, bonds and debentures will not be included, as such transactions do not contribute to the current flow of goods and services. Now you see the next is written in as a star, this line, these two lines. It tells us that no doubt sale of second hand goods is not included, sale and purchase of shares or debenture is not included, but if any commission or brokerage is paid to the commission agent or the broker for facilitating the sale of these things, shares or second hand goods, it is their fresh output, because they are giving services and they are earning the money. So this income from the income of whom? Income of the broker or the commission agent will be included in the national income. Let's read it. However, any commission or brokerage on the sale of second hand goods or the financial asset, means share, debenture, bonds, etc., will be included in the national income. Why? As it is the income received for rendering the productive services. So this is a special note I have written here. Next is a windfall gains. अचानक से एकदम लाभ हो गया, लॉटरी निकल गई, गैम्बलिंग, जुआ खेला, बहुत पैसा आ गया, इसको इंक्लूड नहीं करेंगे. We will not include it. Why? Because no fresh output has been created. It's all of sudden we gained. So look here, windfall gains like income from lotteries, gambling are not included, as there is no productive activity connected with them. Next is the imputed value of services. If you remember, I told you self-consumption services are not included because it is difficult to estimate them. But here what I am talking is the services means services of the owner occupied houses. We include the imputed rent. Suppose a landlord is using his or her own land for production, so imputed rent will be included. Suppose he is using his own capital, imputed interest will be included. So this we are talking here. Imputed value of the services provided by the owners of PU, production unit, will be included. That is imputed rent of the owner occupied houses, interest on the own capital जो उसने अपनी capital use की, प्रोडक्शन फॉर सेल्फ कंजम्पशन जो उसने अपने लिए अनाज रख लिया. एक किसान है, मैंने एग्जांपल दिया था, 200 क्विंटल में से 20 क्विंटल्स उसने अपने लिए रखा, उसकी जो मार्केट वैल्यू है वो इसमें इंक्लूड की जाएगी. क्यों? एज दीज आर द प्रोडक्टिव सर्विसेज एंड एड टू द फ्लो ऑफ गुड्स एंड सर्विसेज, सो इट विल बी इंक्लूडेड. सिमिलरली जो हमारी पास्ट सेविंग्स, payment from the past saving like wealth tax, gift tax, they are not included. क्यों? Because they are paid out of the past savings and do not add to the current flow of goods and services. And the last one is all the taxes are excluded. They are not included in the national income except the corporate tax, which is a part of profit. Look here, like excise duties, sales tax, we call GST now, are included, as they are not included as they do not lead to creation of any new factor income. So with this we have covered income method in complete, totally complete method. Means we have discussed about the concepts used in the income method, we have discussed about the steps to measure income methods, the national income by the income method, and last we discussed about what are the precautions to be taken while measuring the national income by income method. Now we are going to start with just introduce today itself. Next lecture we will start with the basic concepts and the steps. Today we are going to introduce only the final expenditure method, or we call it expenditure method, or we call it income disposition method, or we call it income disposal method. Let's start and introduce it. I am going to introduce it now. According to this method, national income is estimated in terms of the expenditure. ध्यान देना, खर्च के बेस पर हम इनकम को जोड़ेंगे, देखेंगे. वैल्यू एडिड प्रोडक्शन मेथड, प्रोडक्शन के एंगल से हम ढूंढते हैं नेशनल इनकम को. यहां पर हम खर्च कर रहे हैं, जो हम फाइनल एक्सपेंडिचर कर रहे हैं, उसके बेस पर हम नेशनल इनकम को फाइंड करते हैं. सो इट इज द अदर साइड ऑफ द कॉइन. उधर हम प्रोडक्शन एंगल ले रहे हैं, यहां पर हम एक्सपेंडिचर की बात कर रहे हैं. लुक हियर, according to this method, national income is estimated in terms of the expenditure on the purchase of final goods and services. आपको पता होगा, पढ़ चुके हो आप, intermediate and final goods. Final goods are for final consumption or investment. They are not for resale. This is most important. So produced in the economy during an accounting year, since the final expenditure comprises of consumption, एक तो फाइनल कंजम्पशन एक्सपेंडिचर, दूसरा फाइनल इन्वेस्टमेंट, सो इट इज ऑल्सो कॉल्ड कंजम्पशन एंड इन्वेस्टमेंट मेथड. सो एस्टिमेशन ऑफ द एक्सपेंडिचर ऑन द फाइनल गुड्स प्रोड्यूस ड्यूरिंग द ईयर विद इन द डोमेस्टिक टेरिटरी. जब हम उसके एक्सपेंडिचर को निकालते हैं तो वी गेट ग्रॉस डोमेस्टिक प्रोडक्ट एट मार्केट प्राइस, जीडीपी एट एमपी. इट इज इक्वल टू जीडीपी एट एमपी. इट इज फर्दर एडजस्टेड, फिर तो हमें पता ही है कि जीडीपी पहले फाइंड करेंगे और उसको फिर नेशनल इनकम तक हम पहुंच जाएंगे. सो दिस इज फाइनल एडजस्टेड टू फाइंड द नेशनल इनकम. अब वो बात कर रहा है फाइनल गुड्स क्या है, विच आर एक्वायर्ड फॉर कंजम्पशन एंड इन्वेस्टमेंट. सो द फाइनल एक्सपेंडिचर्स आर द एक्सपेंडिचर ऑन द गुड्स एंड सर्विसेज फॉर फाइनल कंजम्पशन एंड फाइनल इन्वेस्टमेंट. And next we will start the next topic in the next lecture, the concepts used in the final expenditure method. So by now we have completed the meaning of the final expenditure method. In the next lecture we are going to start with the concepts used in the final expenditure method to calculate the national income. So we are completing the syllabus. I am giving you topic wise lectures, but this all will be useful when you are also just revising the concept, listening the notes, listening the video lectures, and at the same time preparing the notes simultaneously. Hope that you all are doing the same what I am expecting from you. God bless you all.